What about DEI now? When you see major companies, Fortune 500 companies taking hits and some taking gains because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And some would say like, yo, we going AI. I don't want to feel obligated to do certain things, but for the certain people who have been oppressed, suppressed, and forgotten, we need our jobs. We need equal rights. What's your stance on that?
I don't care about DE&I. I've said in op-eds in Time Magazine, Black Enterprise, and Fortune, you want to kill it, kill it. It's already been weaponized. It's been made political and emotional, and you know, it's dead. DE&I as a program is effectively dead.
Hey man, I've been warning the Black Democrats. Like, look, y'all don't want to listen to me. Hey, look, I know y'all narrow-minded. I know y'all not tolerant of other people's ideas, right? You want people to tolerate your BS, but then when people want to speak their mind, Black Democrats don't want to tolerate it. Make it make sense, right? Black Democrats, y'all got so comfortable dominating the conversation, right? To pretend that being pro-Democrat is equivalent to being pro-Black is the most asinine kind of framing and projection y'all ever did in our political discourse in the Black community and in America as a whole, right? Americans are tired of this ish, right? Everyone knows DEI is a political purity test to weed out people who don't think like you. It's obvious what the game is with DEI, but you do not want to acknowledge the concerns many Americans have with DEI. And Cam Newton got confronted a famous businessman. I think his name is John Hope Bryant, if I remember correctly. You see how stunned Cam Newton was? Cam Newton was like, what? A black man saying this? Bro, you Black Democrats, y'all don't understand. DEI is the bane of every successful Black man, Black person's existence because it gives people an attack line to undermine your success. Liberals do it by taking credit for your success. The Democrat wasn't with me when I was reading my books, sacrificing time partying with friends, studying, right? Learning my skills for my job on my own time, outside of school, work. Democrats wasn't with me when I was learning how to do my job for 6 months. And then I became successful at it and made it into a long-standing career without a college degree, without finishing college. Democrats wasn't with me doing that, but they want to take credit. Oh, Kenny, you only got that because of DEI. If DEI didn't exist, you wouldn't have gotten your job. What? Get out of my face. This is how a lot of Black conservatives see DEI. We see DEI as a program that attempts to give credit for the success of Black people to the Democrats. That's how I see DEI. And many other people see DEI as discrimination based on race. Ask an Asian. An Asian is suing, I think, Harvard or one of these universities, these Ivy League universities, because he was being discriminated against because of the color of his skin, because he was Asian, because Asians disproportionately are represented in university the same way that Black people are disproportionately represented in the NFL and the NBA. But all the people who love DEI, they don't want to mention this crap. And many people, it's political. Obviously political. And look at this clip right here. As a reporter tries to make this claim, everyone knows about the Joint Chief of Staff chairman who's being replaced. He was a Black man, and the left is trying to make this narrative. Oh, he's being replaced because he was a Black man. No, it's because he was not doing his job properly. Let's take a look.
What was the reason for the president naming a replacement for General Brown? And then I'll follow up with another personnel announcement that's been made over the last few days.
He thinks he's doing a bad job, and it's time for a shakeup at the Pentagon. They failed 7 audits in a row. The trust in our United States military amongst the war fighters is low. The president is shaking up the Pentagon and the Department of Defense, of course, with Secretary Hegseth leading, and he has the right to do that. It's actually quite common from administration to do such a thing.
And this is why many people see DEI as political. It's nothing but political. Okay, so when we fire a Black person that happens to have the political persuasion of the Democratic Party, all of a sudden it's because of racism. Oh, this is what happens when you attack DEI, right? Oh, you're saying Kamala Harris isn't qualified because she's a mixed woman. She's a minority woman. No, she's just not good at her job. Look at the outcomes. You failed 7 audits in a row and you think you should keep your job? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't care if he's the first Black man to do whatever. You failed 7 audits, you deserve to lose your job. Sorry. And this is the problem that Democrats and leftists don't seem to understand, is that people are tired of the intentions. We don't care about the intentions of a policy. We look at the outcome. Hey, DEI encourages more discrimination and prejudice. No one likes discrimination and prejudice. I don't care if you're doing it at the benefit of a minority group. It don't matter, because all you're going to do is create more discrimination, more prejudice, which is what's going on with DEI. Now people feel hesitant if they see a black man doing something, black person doing anything. People are going to think, did he get there because of DEI? And instead of questioning the circumstance which led to that conclusion, they want to blame the person. Oh, you're a racist for thinking that. You're a racist for thinking that someone only got their position because of DEI. Well, when you have a program that uses your demographics as an additional factor to you getting hired, people are it's obvious people are going to go into that conclusion. And this is why DEI has become toxic. This is why DEI has become politicized to the point where corporations are slow walking DEI, are removing their DEI standards, because they're starting to realize, yo, Americans are seeing DEI as discrimination, because it is. And if Democrats don't want to own up to that, if Democrats don't want to admit what the many Americans are feeling about this program, then you're going to deserve to lose another couple more years. But I digress. I want to go in more into this conversation. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted, but I think it needs to be said. This is the conversation that black Democrats are scared to have. Let's take a look.
Fortune. You want to kill it, kill it. It's already been weaponized. It's been made political and emotional, and you know, it's dead. DE&I as a program is effectively dead. I don't care about DE&I. I love diversity, and I love math because it doesn't have an opinion, and God has a sense of humor.
Right.
So for the first time in history, this country cannot succeed without all of us. In 1950, America was 90% white. Not 1850, Cam. 1950. Today, America's 40% black and brown. Within 10 years, there'll be a majority of minorities. The biggest economy in the world, the US. First of all, you never had a superpower that wasn't the economic power at the same time. In the history of the world, Rome, France, Germany, you never had a superpower that wasn't economic. So we're the superpower, we're the economic power. And 70% of the US economy, about $29 trillion, is consumer spending. That's you and me, going to restaurants, going to lunch, playing video games, buying our phones. That's consumer spending. Or the plane tickets that we bought. That's us. Even the racist wins when black people succeed going forward because GDP rises. We're having the wrong argument. In fact,
I agree, right? And this is one of the reasons why I say I don't worry about racism. I don't worry about racism. And this is the problem with black Democrats, is that they trying to condition your mind to worry about something that is minuscule. Democrats love to say, "Oh, why you're worried about transgenderism? Transgender people only make up less than 1% of the population. Why are you so worried about them?" I can make the same argument about racism. Why are you worried about people who are not in public power? And even in the fact, like, this is the best example to illustrate what I'm talking about. If a racist was made, hey, I have to pick the best basketball team, a racist will pick an all-black team. Yes, you heard me right. A racist would. Because in the day, I don't care about your ideology. I don't care about your moral standards. You'll never, for the most part, do something that is at the detriment of yourself. The racist want to keep his job. If a racist basketball coach wants to keep his job, he has to win. And if the best players that can help him win happens to be 70% of the time black, he'll still do it. He'll still, you won't even know he was a racist, because he'll be like, yes. Because at the end of the day, he cares about keeping his job. He's cares about making millions of dollars a year. And that's something that black people can't seem to understand. This is why I'm saying, this is why I laugh at black Democrats when they sit here saying, these white people don't love you. I don't care about love. I care about respect. You're gonna pick me. If you don't want to lose, you're gonna pick me. That's exactly what you ask. A racist, essentially, if he falls through with his ideology, he's setting himself up to fail. The same question I ask for these people who want DEI. Okay, you believe in DEI so much, why don't you go to the NBA, which is 78% black, and why you don't put a bunch of white people, Asians, Mexicans, short people, women on your team and have them compete against the other teams? You're gonna lose. So even DEI itself proved my point. That if you believed in DEI so much, how come you don't apply it to the NBA? How come you don't apply it to the NFL? You only apply it to college universities, which affect white people and Asians? That's the only people you feel comfortable in enacting DEI in their industries, but not in sports, right? Oh, sports is different. No, it's not. You're hurting our GDP. You're hurting the quality of our services and products by hiring against the people who tend to do those jobs. Air traffic control as a prime example. But they don't see it. They don't see it. And end of the day, no one's going to play with their life. If I got a doctor, let's say I go to a clinic and it's a black doctor, right, with DEI in the background, people are going to come to a conclusion. Ooh, I hear all the time. I heard all the special treatment they give black doctors, like they're not they can skip class. They're trying to take out the medical bar exam. They're trying to take out the certifications. There's all these special considerations they're trying to make because disproportionately black people fail these tests, these filters for the least capable doctors in our industry. To make room for them, they lower these standards, or they try to remove these standards, or they try to dial back these standards. And people with that knowledge is going to have some worry about black doctors. And it's not the person being racist. It's the fact that the racist system itself, called DEI, discrimination under new management, has put an incentive structure where it allowed race. You got to your position because they leverage racism to put you there. And you want to get mad that racism or people are starting to have prejudice about black successful people because they're starting to see, oh, the system's in the background propping them up. DEI is the equivalent of black privilege. The same way that black people, black Democrats specifically, complain about white privilege, DEI is your form of black privilege. And people, right, just like you assume a white person is only successful because of the color of their skin, people are going to only assume, oh, you're in this job because of your skin color. It's crazy how the world works sometimes, huh? Black people have been complaining about white privilege all their life, and unknowingly, they had their own form of privilege and pretend that, oh, no, white people have to feel guilty about themselves. Craziness. This is some craziness. And this is why people are done. People are done with the conversation. We make up 40% of the economy. This guy said it, 40%. If we don't work, if we don't eat, if we don't spend our money, consumer spending, the economy is going to tank. A racist is going to be like, no, to keep my livelihood, I have to accept these people in my country. It's a logical conclusion. Because at the end of the day, as much of I can take the most avid racist, he'll never do something against his own interest. And that's what something conservatives know. That's why conservatives rather want respect than love. Liberals want that hug. Liberals want these white people to love them. I don't want love from anybody. My family loves me. That's all I need. I'm good. I'm Gucci over here. My supporters love me. That's all I need. I'm Gucci over here. I don't need some random black person, some random white person, some random Asian person to like me. Democrats want that. Democrats want people to come accept them. No, freedom of association. You want to associate with me? Fine. You don't want to associate with me? Fine. I don't care. And this is the kind of mentality most black conservatives have. You rock with me, you don't. I don't care. You rock with me, you rock with me. I don't care about your skin color. You don't rock with me, I don't care about your skin color. Oh, black people don't rock with you, Kenny. I don't give a damn. Most black people aren't conservative. So what's your point? What's your argument? Make it make sense. That's like saying, oh, these atheists don't rock with you, Kenny. I'm a Christian. Of course they don't rock with me. It's the same argument I make about my political affiliation. If I'm a conservative and I come from a community that's majority Democrat, and then someone tries to make the argument, oh, look, black people don't agree with what you're saying, Kenny. You're a coon. You're a traitor. And I'm like, I have a whole different philosophy than the common black person. Of course they don't agree with me. This is the baffling part. All y'all do is see skin color, but then y'all pretend that, oh, you're being judged on your skin color. That's all you put out. That's like a man saying, oh, women only date me for my money. If all you put out is your money, of course people are going to date you for your money. It's the same argument I'm making about black people leading with race. But I digress. Let the video wrap up.
When black people succeed going forward because GDP rises. We're having the wrong argument. In fact, we're arguing. There's no need to argue. There's not enough college-educated, successful white men to drive GDP, gross domestic product, for the next 20 years. So unless my white friends want to be speaking Mandarin in 20 years, meaning Chinese, or taken over by Russia, which is not likely, but unless you want to speak another language, we better figure out in the next 5 or 10 years that we're better together.
Exactly. We're better together than we are apart. United we stand, divided we fall. And DEI pushes division. This is why I get so mad. That's why I went ham on the Joy Reid video. Identity politics push division. We're all Americans here. If America don't succeed, we all effed. And a racist know that. A black supremacist know that. A black nationalist know that. We all consciously know that, yo, we F up this, we fumble this country, it's a rap ski for all of us. All our lives will be harder for it. And this is what conservatives are trying to get the black America to understand. Yo, you can't have it your way. You can't sit here demanding reparations from a group of people who had no ties to slavery, no ties to racism at all. Most white people born in this country are descendant of European immigrants. Yet you want to hold them at fault for slavery and what happened to your ancestors when you personally never went through it. You piggybacking off a struggle. And this has been my main talking point against the leftists that cry about racism, slavery, oh, we need reparations. I'm like, no, you piggybacking off the suffering of your ancestors to justify your own personal gain. How can you ever sit here and moralize about racism in this country when you hustling off of it? Make it make sense. Joy Reid was hustling off of race. If racism wasn't an issue, you lose money. You lose standing, you lose influence, you lose power. You're incentivized to keep racism going on. And this is one of the main reasons why I believe a lot of these people, they support DEI. Because in a way, DEI keeps race relevant. DEI is racism under new management. So you get to discriminate against Asians, whites, creating more racial hostility than when it's a two-way street. When they give it back to you, oh, look, you see, DEI is still needed. You're creating the conditions to keep your job. That's how I see many of these DEI advocates, because if you show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. If you're incentivized to increase discrimination, because discrimination is what's justifying you getting your grant money, you getting your job, you getting your book deals, you getting your speaking engagements, you have a whole degree based on DEI, it's no wonder that you want to keep the hustle going. And this is why you guys get projected with the name race hustler. Because you want all the Americans to see themselves as different when really we all the same. We all got an interest to this land. This land was your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands. This land was made for you and me. Like, that's the song I grew up in the 90s. I don't know about y'all. I'm a millennial, 96. I was born in 96. That's the song I grew up singing. This land is your land. This land is... That's the song I grew up in. So then this thing, that warps my mentality. A black person gonna sit here and try to tell me, oh, these white people don't care about you. You trying to act white. No, I'm an American. This is my land. If we don't take care of it, it's a rap ski for all of us. We all gonna have to speak Chinese, Mandarin, Russia. We all gonna have to immigrate somewhere else if we fumble America. And that's what conservatives are trying to get black America to understand. Yo, you can't be asking for reparations for people who had no ties to it. There's only 400,000 slave owners, 4 million slaves. There's not, like, we have 495 million people in this country. Less than 5% of white people have any ties to slavery, based on the statistics. And you want reparations from the entire country because of a system of white supremacy? Get the F out of here. You trying to hustle based on people's guilt. You trying to make people feel guilty because they have the same skin color as people who did something bad in the past in America. When slavery was a universal sin. It was a human sin. Africans enslaved their ancestors first, then sold them to the white people in America. But you have no outrage about Africa and their part to play in the slave trade. No. They were the one wheeling and dealing you guys like drug dealers. Your ancestors like drug dealers, but you hold them with no account. Oh, but it's all America's fault. You don't want to talk about the black slave owners. Out of the 400,000 slave owners, about 37,000 of them were black. You didn't want to talk about that? Oh, the kitty, they're trying to buy up their family members. Yeah, okay. 37,000 black slave owners owning about what? 100,000 slaves? All of them are family members. Yeah, okay. I'm just tired of the revisionist history. What wasn't it? There was a slave owner called Anthony Johnson in the 1800s. He was an indentured servant. Then he earned his freedom again, and then he was a slave. Like, y'all want to highlight certain parts of history that boost up a narrative for DEI, and this is why many people see it as political. But I digress. I think I'm done ranting. I don't want to take you guys too much of your time. But let me know what you think. DEI is really on the decline when you got a successful black businessman stunning a millionaire athlete called Cam Newton, about DEI. You know, you love to see it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts and your perspectives. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you feel so inclined, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.